Street,
Canal Street.
Louisiana, New Orleans. I'm gonna flip it. Look at this man.
This year. I love nothing at all.
Turn
this thing around.
No.
Last July, a Rockford woman was reported missing. Her body was later found behind Ecolab in Roscoe.
Now the business and its workers are keeping Ashley Hardin's memory alive.
July 23rd, 2022. Roscoe, Illinois. Behind a sprawling industrial facility on Rockton Road, police find a body. Multiple gunshot wounds. Execution style. The victim? Ashley Hardin, 38 years old, mother of 3. A woman whose voice could fill a room with warmth. But here's what makes this different. The location wasn't random. It was deliberate, calculated. Ashley used to work at this exact facility, Ecolab, years before she was murdered there. So the question becomes, how does a mother of 3, a singer beloved by everyone who knew her, end up shot to death behind her former workplace? The answer starts with a man named Rashawn Smith, her ex-boyfriend, 46 years old. And if you think this was just another case of domestic violence gone wrong, you need to know something. Smith had done this before. Not exactly this, but close enough. And in 2009, he was convicted of involuntary manslaughter, kidnapping, and aggravated robbery in Ohio. He served time, got out, and somehow Ashley ended up in his life. But here's where it gets really unsettling. 3 years before he killed Ashley, Smith wrote a book, a memoir. He called it Sociopath or Wrong Path.
The book is definitely based on my life. It's based on a lot of people that I've run into in my life. I'm not a writer. I just had a story to tell. This book covers like the first 19 years of my life. I'm 43 years old now.
The title alone should make you pause. It's not a question someone asks if they don't already know the answer. He wrote it for his sons, he said, in case anything ever happened to him. Think about that for a second. A man with a history of kidnapping and violence writes a book asking whether he's a sociopath or just someone who made bad choices. Then 3 years later, he kidnaps and murders his ex-girlfriend.
People are going to call me crazier and wonder why I did what I did. Deception. Stop dealing in deception with people. When I met Ashley, I was openly polyamorous. I slept with women. I was upfront about it. I told her about my anger issues. I told her about my felony. I told her about prison. I told her about being controlling, violent, everything. I gave her every opportunity to walk away. I gave her every opportunity to be honest with me, but instead she chose to constantly deal in deception. And I'm tired of it, period. And a lot of the deception is far beyond her. It comes from the Rockford fucking black church. When I met her, she had just stopped fucking a pastor in his church. In fact, she's fucked with like 4 or 5 pastors here in Rockford. And it's not just her. The Rockford black church is corrupt as fuck. They protect these predatory pastors. They give them money. All these fucking pastors around, they got all these goddaughters and young light-skinned girls that they taking on trips to other countries and to all these concerts and church this and that. And you stupid people in Rockford pay the tithes and offerings to pay for this shit. I know countless women with evidence that have dealt with these fucking black pastors here in Rockford, and y'all go for it. One of the worst motherfuckers is Ronald Alexander. Look in his phone. Look in your daughter's phone if if your daughter go to his church. Look in her phone.
By the time you finish this video, you'll understand how someone who asked that question about themselves already knows exactly what they are. But before we get to him, you need to know who Ashley really was. Because what he took from this world wasn't just a life, it was a light. Welcome to True Crime Footprint, where we unveil the darkest mysteries and the most terrifying true crime tales. Kindly hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our new stories. Your support keeps these stories alive. Ashley Nicole Hardin was born April 8, 1984 in Sterling, Illinois. She graduated from Sterling High School in 2002. Nothing extraordinary on paper, just a regular girl from a small town who grew up to become a receptionist at Mercy Health in Rockford. But if you asked anyone who actually knew her, they'd tell you something different. Ashley had a gift, a voice that could stop a conversation mid-sentence. She sang with groups like Committed in one voice. She did backup vocals for other artists. Music wasn't just a hobby for her, it was how she connected with people. Her brother Josh said it best. She was an amazing sister and friend.
Tragedies are commonplace. All kinds of diseases. People are slipping away. Economy's down. People don't get enough pay. But as for me, all I can say is thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me.
But more than anything, Ashley was a mother. She had 3 kids, Zion, Kaylin, and Levi. And according to everyone close to her, being their mom was the thing she was most proud of. She had a tight circle. Her parents, David and Kimberly, 5 siblings. Close friends she called her special sisters, Dewana, Tiara, Alexandria, Olivia. The kind of people who show up when it matters. Ashley's life wasn't flashy. It was steady, grounded, full of the kind of love that doesn't need to be loud to be real. And then there was Rayshawn Smith. By the time of the murder, their relationship was over. She'd moved on, but he hadn't. Here's the thing about men like Smith. They don't let go. Control isn't something they lose gracefully. And when they can't have control anymore, they take something else instead. Ashley had no idea how dangerous he really was. She didn't know about the full extent of his past. She didn't know that the man she once trusted had spent decades perfecting the art of violence. But you're about to find out. If you believe no one should have their voice stolen the way Ashley's was, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Because stories like this don't just fade because people forget. They fade because people stop listening. Don't be the reason her story dies twice. Now here's a question for you. How well do you really know the people you let into your life? I mean, really know them. Drop your honest answer in the comments. No judgment, just truth. Because the man Ashley thought she knew, he was someone else entirely. Rayshawn Smith was 46 years old when he killed Ashley Harden. But this wasn't his first time taking someone's freedom or their life. Let's go back to 2009. Cuyahoga County, Ohio. Smith was indicted on a list of charges that should make your stomach turn. Aggravated murder, kidnapping, aggravated robbery, burglary, felonious assault. He took a plea deal. The aggravated murder charge got knocked down to involuntary manslaughter. He also pled guilty to kidnapping and robbery. The judge gave him 22 years. 22 years. And yet by 2022, he was free, walking around, dating, and eventually killing again. Here's what you need to understand. Kidnapping wasn't just part of his crime, it was his method. In 2009, he used it to trap his victim before things escalated. In 2022, he did the exact same thing to Ashley. It's not a coincidence, it's a pattern. But here's where this case gets strange. In 2019, 3 years before Ashley's murder, Smith published a memoir. He called it Sociopath or Wrong Path. Memoir of a teenage drug dealer. He said he wrote it for his sons, a journal. Something for them to read in case anything ever happened to him. The title is almost funny if it wasn't so disturbing. Sociopath or Wrong Path? Like he's genuinely asking the question, like he doesn't already know. But let's be real, this wasn't self-reflection. This was a man trying to control how people saw him, trying to paint himself as someone who made mistakes, not someone who is the mistake. The fact that he wrote this book, published it, and then went on to kidnap and murder his ex-girlfriend 3 years later, that tells you everything. He knew what he was. He just didn't care. Still scrolling without subscribing? Go ahead, drop a comment and tell me why you're okay with missing the next story that could actually matter. I'll wait. Here's another question. Do you think someone who writes a book called Sociopath or Wrong Path deserves the benefit of the doubt? Be brutally honest in the comments, because the justice system gave him that benefit, and Ashley Harden paid the price. July 22nd, 2022, Ashley Harden disappears from her home in Rockford, Illinois. Within hours, her family knows something is wrong. Ashley wasn't the type to just vanish. She had 3 kids, a job, responsibilities, people who needed her. But by the next morning, it's no longer a missing person case. It's a homicide. July 23rd, 2022. Her body is discovered behind the Ecolab facility on Rockton Road in Roscoe, the same facility where she used to work years earlier. Cause of death, multiple gunshot wounds. This wasn't a crime of passion. It wasn't a fight that got out of hand. This was execution, calculated, methodical. And the location, that wasn't random either. Smith knew that place. He'd been in Ashley's life long enough to know her history, and whether it was symbolic or just convenient, he chose to kill her there. Here's where it gets even more disturbing. There were reports of a Facebook video, some kind of social media post connected to the crime. Smith wasn't just committing violence. He was performing it, broadcasting it, controlling the narrative even as he destroyed a life. That's the modern face of intimate partner violence. It's not just physical anymore. It's digital. It's public. It's designed to humiliate and dominate even after the fact. Police move fast. Within days, Rayshawn Smith is arrested and charged with first-degree murder and kidnapping. The evidence is overwhelming. The timeline is clear. The motive is obvious. But the trial? That's where this story takes a turn no one expected. If your heart's pounding right now, hit that like button. And if you think someone you know needs to hear this, share it. Because the more people who know Ashley's name, the less power her killer has. Now tell me, would you have seen the red flags if you were in Ashley's life? Comment below. No judgment, just honesty. Because hindsight is easy, but in the moment, it's a lot harder to see what's coming. October 27, 2022, 3 months after Ashley Hardin's murder, Rayshawn Smith stands trial. The jury doesn't take long. Guilty, first-degree murder, kidnapping, life in prison. For Ashley's family, it's a rare moment of swift justice. No years of appeals, no dragged-out hearings, just a verdict. Final, definitive. But then something happens that no one saw coming. December 25th, 2022. Christmas Day. Rayshawn Smith is found dead in his cell at Stateville Correctional Center. Cause of death, suicide. 2 months after sentencing, no appeals, no parole hearings. No chance for him to manipulate another courtroom or write another memoir. It was over. Some people might say that's justice. Others might say he took the easy way out. Maybe both are true. What's certain is this. Ashley's family didn't get closure from a judge's gavel. They got it from the finality of his death.
The 46-year-old man who killed his ex-girlfriend, Ashley Hardin, in Rockford earlier this year has died in prison. Our Jim Haggerty's been looking into this. And Jim, what have you been able to find out?
Mimi, the Will County Coroner's Office and the Illinois Department of Corrections confirmed this morning that Rayshawn Smith died on Christmas Day. Neither office has said how he died, but what we do know is Smith was transferred to Stateville Northern Reception and Classification Center near Joliet earlier this month. Just days later, he died while in custody of the Department of Corrections. Smith pleaded guilty in October to first-degree murder in the death of 38-year-old Ashley Hardin, whose body was found July 23rd in Roscoe. Before Smith was arrested, he posted a chilling video on Facebook saying, quote, he did what he did because Hardin, quote, was dealing in deception. Ashley Hardin had 3 children. Mimi?
After Ashley was killed, the community refused to let her story end in violence. Ecolab, where she used to work, led the effort. Employees raised funds. The company installed a bright blue bench along Stonebridge Trail in Roscoe. Tom Ramsden, the plant manager, said it best. When people sit on the bench, hopefully they will reflect on a beautiful life that was lost. The funds raised didn't just go to a memorial. They went to Ashley's 3 children, Zion, Kaylin, and Levi. Christmas gifts, birthday presents, a future their mother would have wanted for them. And every year on April 8th, Ashley's birthday, her family gathers at that blue bench. They sing, they remember, they make sure her voice is still heard. Rayshawn Smith tried to erase her, but the community made sure her light would never go out. To Ashley's family, especially her 3 children, we see you, we remember her, and we won't let her story fade. Now here's my question for you. Was Smith's suicide justice, or did he rob Ashley's family of the chance to see him face every single day of a life sentence? What's your take? Comment below. I'm reading every single one. If this story moved you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because stories like Ashley's deserve to be told. And people like Rayshawn Smith deserve to be remembered for exactly what they were. Don't let her voice be silenced twice. Our hearts ache for Maria Ashley's family. Words feel inadequate, but please know you are held in deepest sympathy and prayers. May you find strength and comfort in the memories of Ashley. Thank you for watching, for your attention, and for joining us on this journey of reflection. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay safe. See you on our next video.